that is sampling. In this unit number 4, what we are going to study is the different basic concepts related to sampling. Various terms we will understand, that is universe, the concept of population, sample, what are the characteristics of good sample, then sampling frame, what is called as sampling frame, then what are sampling errors, in that what are the different types of sampling error that we'll discuss, and how we can reduce those sample errors, that we'll discuss. Then in this unit we'll discuss the probability sample, the various types of sampling. In that we'll see what is probability sample and the different types of sample coming under probability sample, and then there will be non-probability sample and the different types of non-probability sample. So that we will discuss in unit number 4. We will start with understanding the concept of sampling. Now, sampling is a term which represents or which refers to a process of choosing a representative portion from a population. So as I said, what we do is we choose a representative portion of the respondents from the entire population of the respondents for a particular study. Now this representative sample or representative portion, what it means is representative, that means it is covering all the characteristics of the population. Representative means those few number of people which we have selected from the entire population, their characteristics must be same as of the population, and then only whatever research we are conducting and conclusions we are drawing, that we can apply to the entire population. So our sample must be representative in nature. Representative, that means the characteristics of the sample should be similar, or it should be exactly same as the population. And the objective of doing this sampling is to draw conclusions or inference for the population based on sample analysis. So the purpose of sampling is to draw inference from a group of people which we have selected from the entire population. We do the research and analysis, and the conclusions or the inference which we can draw, that we can apply to the entire population. I think with this your concept of sampling, what is called as sampling, is clear to you, isn't it?
Yes.
So what is the need of sampling, that we will have to discuss. Why we do sampling? The first reason is that we have limited resources, that may be the money, time. To save those resources, what we do is, instead of approaching all the respondents in a population, what we'll do is we'll approach only few people who are representative of the entire population, so that it can reduce our cost. So that is the first reason. Second reason is that we can get faster results. So if we are contacting the entire population and taking information from each and every person, that will take much time. However, if we do sampling, if we contact only few people who are representative of the population, it will save our time and we will be able to get faster results. And the third reason is that 100% testing may not be practical, or sometimes even not, it will not be possible, and it will not be practical. So contacting each and every person in a population may not be possible, and as well as it will not be practical. It will consume more of a time and cost, and therefore for all these reasons, what we do is we take a portion of a population, that we call it as a sample, and we conduct the study, research, and do the analysis of the information received, and we draw inferences which can be applied to the entire population. Then going ahead, these are the steps in sampling process when we are doing sampling. So how do we choose a sample? There is a process of how do we choose the sample. The first step in sampling process is define the population. Define the population, the all the elements of the population. Who is your population for that particular study? That you need to first define. Then second, identify the sampling frame. We will be discussing what is population, what is a sampling frame in detail in subsequent slides. However, now we will understand the process. The first step is define the population. First, we define the population from which the sample can be taken. Secondly, we identify the sampling frame. So it is a guideline or a list from where we can collect the sample. Third step is select a sampling design or a procedure. There may be different sampling procedures, sampling designs, sampling methods that we will be discussing in the later part of this unit. So we have to select a sampling method. By which method or by which procedure we are going to choose the sample from the entire population, that we have to determine. So once this sampling design is selected, then the next step is determine the sample size. So with few formulas based on the nature of the study, we'll determine the sample size for that particular study. How much sample size is sufficient so that we can draw conclusions which can be applied to the entire population. That appropriate sample size need to be determined. So that is step number 4. And then step number 5 is draw the sample. So in step number 5, what we do is we draw the sample from the population with the particular procedure which we have decided. So these are the 5 steps of sampling process. First, define the population. Second, identify the sampling frame. Third is to select sampling design. Fourth is to determine sample size. And fifth is draw the sample. Is this clear to you all?
Yes, sir.
So now going ahead, we will be understanding few more terms which will be required for our understanding of this sampling and sampling methods. Another what we have to understand is what can be called as a good sample. So what are the qualities or characteristics of a good sample, that we will discuss first, and then we'll move ahead to understand different terms which will be required for this unit. So characteristics of good sample, what characteristics should be there in a sample so that we can say that it is a good sample. The first characteristic is that it should be representative of the population. So whatever portion of entire population which we are selecting for study, that must be representative of the entire population. It should be similar to the population. It should have characteristics exactly same as the population. Second characteristic is that all units of sample should be selected during the same period of time. So this period of time must be same for all the units of sample when we are selecting few representative portion from the entire population. Third is no unit of population should be favored at the time of selecting a sample. So there should not be any bias. So when you are selecting any sample people or sample respondents from the entire population, there should not be any favor to any unit. While selecting, it should be unbiased. Every unit in the population should have equal chance of getting selected. It should not be favored. And fourth characteristic is that the sample should be adequate. So whenever we are selecting a sample, that sample should be adequate so that we can draw conclusions on the basis of that sample size, and that conclusions can be applied to the entire population. So the sample size need to be adequate number of respondent we have to select, so that we can apply that same results on the population. If less number of units are selected, better accuracy can be achieved. However, it may not be representative of the population. If more number of units are selected, the expenditure, time, etc. will be more. So we have to have a adequate sample. Adequate means appropriate number of respondents need to be selected based on certain formula, so that whatever conclusions we are drawing can be applied to the population. So it should not be very less, it should not be more than the required. If very less sample is selected, there may be better accuracy, but the conclusions which we are drawing may not be applicable to the entire population. However, if more number of units are selected, the expenditure will be more, time will be consumed more. So it will not be feasible. So these are few characteristics of good sample. Any query till this? Pallavi, any query till this? You. Devendra?
No, sir, no query.
No, sir.
Okay. So further, we will move ahead to understand different terms which will be used in this unit. The first term is universe or population. So universe and population, most of the times these terms will be used interchangeably. Sometimes it will be used synonymously. However, there is a little difference in these two terms. So what is that difference that we need to understand? So these two terms, universe and sample, that we will understand. The first term, that is universe, that means all the individuals, things, events or documents having designated set of specifications which a study intends to cover. So all the individuals, events or things, whatever we is under study, it is having those specifications or the characteristics which are covered in the study. So that entire set of all those individuals can be called as a universe. And then there is a term, another term, that is population, which is specific. So in what population, what it means is all those individuals, things, events, documents conforming to the designated set of specifications which the study is in particular covers. So for a particular study which we want to cover, what characteristics or what criteria is required for the particular respondent to be eligible for that study. If all those people who are eligible for that particular study in that particular area or that particular time frame, all those individuals, things, events, documents can be called as population. We'll take one example so that it will be more clear to you. For example, we are doing a study on children in Mumbai. So all the children in Mumbai can be called as a universe. And population, the children in the age group of 5 to 10 years. So for this is specific, which is related to our study in particular. So those specifications or those criteria for our study, which is mentioned in our objectives. So those criteria, the number of units or those people in the population in the particular universe, those who are fitting into this criteria. So the set of all these units can be called as population. So children in Mumbai, however, in Mumbai, the children in the age group of 5 to 10 years who stay with their families and who attend private schools. So that is what specific criteria for our present study, and therefore these units which fit into this criteria, that is those who are in Mumbai in the age group of 5 to 10 years who stay with their families and who attend private schools. So all these units or the children who fit into this criteria can be called as our population for this particular study. Is it now clear to you all? Universe and population.
Yes, sir.
We'll still have one more example so that it will be more clear to you. Now see, in this example, the researcher wants to study women in US. So for their particular health problems, this researcher wants to study women in US. So all those women who stay in US is the universe. So see here, all the women in the US can be called as the universe. So all the women, all the units, all these women, females who are staying in US are the universe for the study. However, this researcher has particularly chosen a topic, that is health related problems in women in US. So she has taken a population or a list of units or the women in US who are visiting the clinic. So she has found that there are 1000 women, for example, who have visited the clinic. Therefore, the population for this study is 1000 females or 1000 women in US. So from this entire universe, as the study is on health related problems to women in US, so she has contacted a clinic, and those who have visited the clinic is the particular population for this study which is conducted by this researcher. So 1000 women who have visited the clinic is the population for this particular study. And from this population of 1000 units, this researcher has taken portion of the population for the study to be contacted. That is, this researcher has selected a sample of 200 women. So among these 1000 women, this researcher has selected sample of 200 women. So that is, these 200 women is the sample for the study. So all women in US is the universe. 1000 women in the clinic who have visited the clinic, that 1000 is the population, and the sample or the portion of the population which is taken, 200 women, is the sample for this particular study. Is it now clear to you all? So in other words, sample means all the entities, the universe means all the entities one wishes to consider in a given situation. So universe means all the entities one wishes to consider in a given situation. So in this, that is for this research, all women in US. So the study is related to women in US. So women in US is the universe. That is, universe means all the entities one wishes to consider in a given situation. However, population is the set of similar items or events which is of interest for the some question or experiment. So for particular research, those people or those units which have similar characteristics and which fits into the criteria for that particular research. So those units, the collection of all those units which can fit into the criteria for particular research can be called as population. Is it now clear to you all? Universe and population.
Yes, sir. Clear.
Okay. Shall we go ahead?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So the definition of population says that population is the total collection of elements about which we wish to make some inferences. So those all units which fit into the criteria of our research. So the collection of all those units can be called as a population. It is any complete group of people or maybe sales territories or any stores, anything. The population may be of anything. It may be people, sales territories or stores or sales people, children. So anything, a group of elements or group of units which for which we want to conduct research which fits into the criteria of our research. So all that collection of elements or units can be called as a population. And there is another term that is census. So census is opposite to your sampling. In census, what we do is we contact each and every person in the particular population, and then we study those units and draw the conclusions. So census means investigation of all the individual elements that can make up population. So contacting each and every person in a particular population is called as census. So census is a count of all the elements in a population. So in a population, all the units, contacting all the units and collecting the information or collecting the data from all this each and every individual in the population and then drawing the conclusion is called as census. Then another term is sampling frame. So sampling frame, as I said, it is a source material or device from which a sample is drawn. In other words, we can say that it is a list of all those with a population within a population who can be sampled and may include individuals, households or institutions. So it is a list from where we can draw the sample. So in a particular universe or population, when we get a particular list of individuals which can be used as a reference for taking out sample, that reference list can be called as a sampling frame. So for example, if we are conducting a research on students in Pune city. So while conducting this research, we want to know the entire population. So the entire population may be in thousands or lakhs. So that to get the names or the list of the people, what we do is we'll contact colleges and we'll take the list of students. So getting the list of all those students, so that will be the population, or that list will be a reference for you to draw sample from that particular list. So that list, student list, can be called as a sampling frame. So there may be telephone directory also, which can be used as a sampling frame, or there can be voter list. So whatever list you have as a reference for collecting the sample or getting the sample from, so that representative list of population which we take, that list can be called as a sampling frame. Are you getting this?
Yes, sir.
So then there is another terms, that is parameter and statistic. So what these two terms means, parameter and statistic. So statistic means a sample statistic is a number computed from the sample data. So when we analyze the sample and calculate some number, it may be mean, median. So that number which we compute from the sample data is called as a statistic. And the term parameter, the term parameter is used for population. So this population parameter is the number that describes some aspect of the population. So whatever number which represent the population is called as population parameter. So what we do is, in our research is, we have population statistic. So we calculate the numbers, or any analysis we do is with the sample data to make inferences about the population parameter. So what we do is, we take the sample statistic, we usually calculate or compute sample statistic, and from that we infer, or we draw conclusions, or we apply those conclusions onto population parameter. Getting this? Is it clear, or you want me to repeat it once again?
Clear, sir.
So shall I repeat, or shall I go ahead? Devendra?
Go ahead. It's clear.
Okay. So till now, what we have discussed, the different terms which comes under sampling. So we discussed what is sampling, the need of sampling, the different characteristics of good sample, the various terms like universe, population, then the census, what is sampling frame, and what is parameter and statistic. So with this we will start with the another uh, topic in this unit, that is sampling errors. So whenever we are collecting a sample or portion from the population, and then we are analyzing, there may be some errors. Some errors may occur during the sampling process. So sample error is incurred when the statistical characteristics of population are estimated from a subset or sample of that particular population. So when we are taking out any sample from a population, sample error may occur. So since the sample does not include all the members of the population, statistics on the sample like mean or median generally differ from the characteristics of the entire population. So as we are not including all the units, we are just taking few units from the entire population, so there is probability that whatever conclusions we are drawing, whatever we are calculating, whatever numbers we are calculating from that particular sample may be different than the numbers from the entire population. So there may be error. There may be a possibility of error. Why? Because we are not analyzing each and every unit of population. We are taking just a representative portion from that particular population, and therefore there may be a chances or probability that there may be errors, that the number which we calculate from the sample may be different than the numbers which belong to the population. So this sampling errors may be because of sampling frame error, chance error, or response errors. So sampling error is a total of frame error, chance error, or response error. So this is a brief background of sampling errors. We'll be discussing about what are the different types of sampling errors in the next slides, but in the next session. So before we close, I want to know that have you understood whatever we have discussed till now? If any query is there, we'll discuss. Any query in whatever we have discussed till now?
No, sir.